Hey everyone, Dominic the Primetime Treasure Hunter here. I cannot believe that the type of item I'm going to talk to you about in a few moments has a 100% sell-through rate in many instances. Other times, the sell-through rate is close to 100%. So by sell-through rate, we're talking about the rate by which something actually sells when it's listed. So if something has a 100% sell-through rate, that means it literally sells every single time that it's listed. A 90% sell-through rate means it sells 90% of the time that it's listed. Types of items like that have a high sell-through rate are great to have as part of your inventory in your reselling business because those types of items tend to sell fast. So if you are struggling with slow sales, doing some research to figure out what types of items these are could really help you out and speed up your sales rate. So how do you do that? How do you figure out what those types of items are? It's actually very easy, and you could do this research by yourself, just figure things out on your own. All you have to do actually is just go to eBay, click on the Advanced tab on the top right, type in any kind of search term you want, and check off the box that says completed. That's going to tell you how many items ended in a certain specified time period. So what you could also then do, so you write that number down, let's say it says 20,000, okay? Then go to sold, check off sold, okay? Don't check that off the first time, just the second time. So let's say then it says that 10,000 items sold. So if 10,000 items sold out of 20,000 that were listed, that means the sell-through rate is 50%. So you just divide the 20,000 by the 10,000. That's how you figure this type of thing out. You know, if you did that same search with a certain type of item and there were 20,000 that were listed and then 20,000 sold, you have an item that has a 100% sell-through rate. So do some research on your own. You might be very surprised what types of items come up. Now, I actually happen to be pretty surprised. And, you know, if you see my eBay store and you see all the categories, I have tons of categories. It is very unusual for me to come across an item and I don't have a category for it. But it happened with the recent score that I talked about in my prior video. So you got to check that one out. That's the one where I found over $2,300 worth of items. And that $2,300 is the retail price, not the resale price. But even if the resale price is half of that, I'm still going to do very well having $0 invested into the items. So what type of items am I talking about already? Well, hint, hint on what I have my arm on right here. This plush dog that I have listed in my eBay store. He's still sitting around. He's waiting to go out to somebody, but that's a little hint right there. We are talking about dog treats, dog health supplements, vitamin supplements for dogs, for pets. I cannot get over it. It is amazing. I never had these types of items before, and I talk about this more in the prior video, but this is a good example of it right here. So these are these calming soft chews. Now, these here sold today for $10. Now, I have a total of 16 of these in the chicken flavor, okay? And someone picked up, in fact, it was Kelly Clark, who watches this channel, and she also subscribes to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. So she picked up 2 of these for $10 each. So that's $20 right there. And then she picked up 1 of these, and I have 5 of these. These are these ear cleaners for dogs. Now, both of these have 100% sell-through rates, and people list them all different ways. They will list 1 of them at a time. They will list lots of 10 of them. They will list multiples. They will list variations based on flavor. So for the calming one, like you could see here, this is the chicken one, but I have like 3 that are like bacon flavor, and there's all sorts of things. But it just blows my mind. It is just amazing. You know, these they go for $10 a piece. So I've got them for $9.99. The price on these originally was $9.95. So they're going out at very close to what they were listed as. Now these are going out for less than half. So these had a price tag sticker of $21.99. I've got them just $10 a piece, just blowing them out, get them out of there. Part of the reason for that is that these chews, these of the items that I got, these have expiration dates that are in, let's see, we've got August and we've got July. So I want to get those out first. But the vast majority of the items that I obtained were items that had expiration dates that go into 2021 and 2022. So you can go back to the video yesterday and see, but my goal right now is to just get as much of that stuff listed as possible. I just started today because, as you could see, what people are going to do, like Kelly, is they are going to combine things from multiple categories and say like, oh wow, I need, you know, ear wipes for my dog. And it's funny because Mrs. Primetime, my wife, saw these and she said, wow, I really wish I knew these existed for our prior dog before we had Daisy. We had a dog named Smokey. I actually did a video on her if you want to see what she looked like. It was a commemoration video to her when she passed away. But we always had to clean her ears, or I should say Miss Primetime did, and she wished she had one of these. She always used to use like paper towels and stuff. But anyway, these are great items. Now, another thing I'm going to tell you about these is you could see the company that made most of the product that I wound up getting says GNC Pets. Well, GNC Pets, and just actually I should just say GNC in general, you know, those GNC stores that they have in the mall, well, they are really getting crushed. It's one of the brick and mortar stores that's really getting hit badly, and they are about to, looks like they're about to file for bankruptcy. Their sales are terrible right now. And so they're really struggling to move product. Yet on the secondary market, their stuff is just flying out the door on places like eBay, for example. Like just people are just gobbling this stuff up. But they're really having a lot of financial problems. So that is a little bit of an insight on how I was able to get all of this stuff for free. This type of stuff is just going to fly out the door as soon as I get it all listed. So be on the lookout for GNC pet related products for sure. Now let's go take a look at something else that I picked up in yesterday's haul, because I have some important news on that. And if you didn't watch my video yesterday because it was long, I've got an exclusive offer for you to talk about. Hey Daisy. Oh, look at that shake. What are you looking at? I know what you're looking at. You're looking at those snacks. Right? You're looking at those dog snacks that I posted? The big dog snack score? Right there? That's right. You're a big fan. These are Daisy approved, by the way, everybody. So, bunch of dog food, dog snacks, ear wipes, all sorts of stuff. But Daisy, you can't have this stuff. All right, so Pam Lambros from Flippin' Hot Finds over on Instagram contacted me. Make sure you go give her a follow. Tell her Primetime said hi. She saw my haul video yesterday where I showed these 11 by 14 sealed posters of these classic vintage comic covers. She's really into Wonder Woman, and she wanted 5 of the Wonder Woman ones. Now, like some of these are the only ones that I had, like this one right here. And then she wanted this one, which is also the only one that I have. I have multiples of this one, and I'll show you some of the other ones later. But I had picked these up for $3 a piece, and these are going out to Pam for a total of $110. So that's going to give me my money back for the entire purchase of everything, and I really want to thank Pam for supporting the channel like that. The rest of it, I'm going to only list it as an exclusive right now to people who request it. Other than that, right now, I'm just holding on to them. So I'll show you those other ones if you haven't seen them from yesterday's video. All right, so my video went long yesterday, and whenever that happens, there's a bunch of people who don't see everything that's in it. So I was showing these posters yesterday, and I'm just going to show them to you right here. I was mentioning in the show that I am only, again, offering these to people who are subscribers to the channel, and possibly I might put them over on Instagram at some point just as exclusives for people who follow. And basically they're just going to go on a first come, first served basis, $19.99 a piece. And if you buy multiples, depending on how many you get, I can make a bulk deal, and that does include free shipping. So I don't want any of these to fall. So what I'm showing you is exactly how many I have. So I do have duplicates, so just keep track in your mind. This is my favorite one. If I was to hold on to one, this would be the one that I would hold on to. I just love it with all the characters and everything. It's just so cool. So in my opinion, that's the best one. If anyone wants that one, make sure you let me know. I love anything Aquaman, one of my favorite characters. I love those covers, and I have 2 of those. So that one's neat with all those fish and everything in the deep sea. I've got a bunch of these, so if you're a Wonder Woman fan, there are a few more. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more. I said a bunch, 3. Did have 4 before Pam picked up one of them. This is the only one of the Green Lantern that I have, so that's a cool cover if you like Green Lantern. And a few more Wonder Woman ones here. Sensation Comics. Sensation Comics. Another cool one. Sensation Comics. So we've got 2 and 3 of that one. And then I love this one where she's just pushing the train over. So cool. So cool. And then a couple, well, let's see, we've got a Superboy here, one of those. Yeah, a couple left. And then this one here, Superman. All right, so that's all of them, and we'll see what happens with them. All right, I don't have a poster pick to show you because nobody picked one out, but I do have a poster sale to show you. This is one I showed you relatively recently. It's the Phil Collins Genesis one. This was a promo that was done through Virgin Airlines. It's a hard print to find. I'm excited about the sale. $22 on this one, even though it's a relatively small poster and it has these little creases and bumps and bruises on it. So excited to get this one in a mailing tube. That's the safest and most secure way to ship these posters. And let's get it flying over to its new owner. All right, so I am very excited to do an unboxing of a very special item inside of here. And this is something that relates to a video series on my channel that many of you know very well. It is the Mile High Comics series that featured Chuck Rosansky, the owner of the world's largest comic book store in Denver, Colorado. And in that series, I document the importance of both the store and the owner to the history of the comic book collecting landscape. Going there was something that was always on my bucket list ever since I was a little kid, before I even knew what a bucket list was. I was always captivated by just thoughts and imagery of what the store must look like when I used to open up comic books and see those double page ads for the business. And then, you know, when I was older and I stumbled across his YouTube channel for Mile High Comics, I was completely blown away and had to find a way to get there. So it took a while to set up a time to be able to get over there and do an interview. And you know, little did I know that it was going to evolve into this 9-part series. So if you haven't seen the series, I would strongly encourage you to go over and check it out. You know, it really was, to me, the most proud product that I have ever put out on YouTube. I don't think there will ever be anything that I do on YouTube that will even come close to it. And that is just because of just my own personal experiences with comic books and that particular topic and that company, and always wanting to go there and that sort of thing. So, some people have told me, by the way, that when they have finished watching that series, that they literally are in tears, people weeping watching that. And it's not just about comic books, by the way. It's about comics, it's about business, it's about life lessons. There's so many things about humanity. You just have to see it. That's all I could really say. And don't skip anything. Start at the first one and then just go all the way through. Just go to the top of my channel. You'll see the video right there. It's pinned there, and you know, you can just follow right through from there. So one of the things I talk about in detail in that video series, there's many ways in which Chuck Rosansky played a very important role in the history of comic books. But by far, the most important thing that Chuck Rosansky did was that he discovered the world's best comic book collection ever. Nothing will ever beat it. It's between 18 and 22,000 comic books piled 8 feet high in a closet and also spilled outside of it a bit, of books that were in pristine to near pristine condition that basically contained practically all comic books that ever were produced or published up until the time of discovery. So we're talking about first appearances of all the major superheroes like Superman, etc. I mean, it's just amazing. That collection is basically the standard by which all other comic book collections are judged by. And in the world of comic book collecting, when you have a discovery like that, that is referred to as a pedigree. And pedigrees these days can now be certified by the company that really does this now is CGC. I've talked about them before. They'll actually go back and trace the lineage of the comic book, follow all the past purchases, all the ways that money has exchanged hands and that sort of thing. And they will literally certify books as coming from a pedigree. So what is something that I have always wanted? Could you guess what it is? Yes, I have always wanted to own a book from the Mile High pedigree. It's also referred to as the Edgar Church collection or the Edgar Church pedigree, Edgar Church being the name of the man who owned all of those comic books. So think about my excitement for a moment. Like, let's say you were into collecting things from, Egypt or whatever, like artifacts, and you could have a piece of King Tut's tomb. Like, that's how excited I am to be able to have a piece of this type of history. And that's what I have inside this box. It is a comic book that comes from the Mile High pedigree. Now, getting things from that pedigree is, it can be difficult. It can be challenging, especially, if you want to get like a superhero book. I mean, the prices on those are, insane. So I opted for something different, something that was more affordable, but also something that I would enjoy. I have talked about before that one of the things that I really enjoy are Western-based comic books. And I love Westerns just in general. My favorite movie of all time is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I love it with Eli Wallach, Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef. I absolutely love, I know almost every line of that movie practically. I've seen it a million times. But hold on, let me open this tape here. Okay, so I'll show you what it is. If you like old Western movies, you're probably really going to like this. We've got some styrofoam in there, and then we've got our book, and this is graded. It's in a slab. There's something also very, very special about this book that makes it unique. It's the only one like it in the world in one sense. So let me tell you what I'm talking about here. Here it is right here. Dakota Lil. Okay, so this is actually a movie that was put into comic book form in 1949. This movie is probably not one you have ever seen, even if you like Westerns. If you have seen it, let me know in the comment section. That would blow me away because they never released it on DVD. The only way to actually see it is to get a bootleg copy of it somewhere. But I want you to pay very close attention to what it says up top there. I'm going to move it closer and closer and closer so you can see it. It is certified as being from the Mile High pedigree. Edgar Church right there. And not only that, you see that grade? 9.2. This is, as you would expect from something coming from the Mile High collection and the Edgar Church collection, this is the highest graded example of this book ever in existence. So in the world, ever graded by CGC. So I am super excited to have this. Now, the question people are going to ask me is, am I ever going to resell it? Yes, I am. I am going to resell it. I am going to put a price on it that's going to make it worthy for me to resell. And you will see this in my eBay store. If anyone else is interested in it, I mean, it will be available. But I don't necessarily plan on this selling fast. That's one of the reasons that I like dealing in collectibles because, I don't mind holding on to things like this for a while and just looking at it and just, admiring it and just, seeing it displayed and just enjoying it. And so, you know what? Here's the thing. If this sells, and this is what I talked about on the interview with Gem Mint from Gem Mint Collectibles, one of the things you do in collecting, you buy something that you really like, right? You sell it off. And then you get additional money, and then you could buy additional things to level yourself up and, eventually buy something like maybe a superhero book from Mile High Collection. But I wanted to show that on video. I'm very excited. I hope that in some way, even if you're not into comic books, you could share my enjoyment with me over this. So it's, just a personal thing for me, and I'm real happy about it. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. If so, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you back the next one, everyone. Take care.